Hey guys, welcome to Farming by Faith. I'm Heather. I know I don't look or sound anything like Robert, and that's because I'm not. I'm Farming by Faith's editor, and today we're going to be doing a video on goats. Now, Robert isn't quite the goat herder yet. We're working on that one. But I do have a small little herd of 5 goats. Here, let me introduce you to them.
Okay, so first up we've got Virginia, and she is a Boer Nubian mix. Eliza here, the little brown one who's very nosy, she's our Nigerian mix. And then we've got Theophilus and Luna, who are the babies of Theodosia, who is our big pure Nubian. And so you'll notice that the babies don't have horns. Really, all of them except Virginia don't have horns. And the reason that we do this on our farm is a very controversial thing to do within the goat community. The reason that we've chosen to do this is that our fencing is very, very dangerous for goats. A lot of the times their horns will get so big that they can get stuck in the fences. So it's you always have to watch for goats with horns when your fencing has big enough spaces for them to stick their heads through, that they can get stuck, they can hang themselves, get dehydrated, broken legs. It's bad news, bad news. Now, goats love to eat, and one of the first things that I noticed when researching for the goats that we were getting is it was really hard to figure out what everybody fed their goats. And it's kind of like with people across the board, like as long as they're getting their nutrients and what they need and not having too much of what they don't need, it's not very complicated. So the majority of their diet is going to be centered around foraging. They like to eat a lot of leaves and things like that. I personally give a little bit of a generic sweet feed, goat feed. It's a grain mixture. It's a little bit of a treat for them, but it definitely helps make those nasty tasting minerals and medications, if they need it, go down a little bit easier. And my goats are pretty spoiled. I do give an alfalfa pellet. We keep all of this stored in a deep freezer in the tack room. This just helps to keep rodents and just bugs and nastiness from getting all up in their feed. Now, the babies, a lot of the times, they'll mostly stick to their mother's milk as their main source of nutrients for the first at least few months of their lives. I personally won't start milking at all, even with the Nubian, who's a high milk producer, until the babies are 2 months old. They do eat a lot of grass. They'll eat some of their mother's grain every now and then, just kind of whatever they can get with forage, and they kind of do their own thing for a little while. But we definitely do watch and make sure that they're getting enough to drink and enough with their mother so that we're not concerned that they're becoming malnourished. Now, a lot of people have goats for different reasons. Some of them raise goats as pets, just as companions. They're great for that. Some people will raise goats for milk, like we do, and some people raise goats as a solid source of meat. And all are great options, and there's different breeds for every option that you could go for. The Nubians produce and have the capability of producing up to a half a gallon of milk a day, which is great. We do have Virginia there, our little white Nubian Boer mix, and her babies, you can see she's quite a bit stockier, even though she's only a month or two older than Eliza here. She is a great deal bigger, and that's because of that Boer that she has mixed in with her. Her babies will be great as a source of meat, a good meat goat, when bred with a Boer buck. Now, you may say that this is a very funny looking goat, but this is actually Snickers, our neighbor's cat, and he's quite the experienced mouser, so we do enjoy keeping him around, and the goats don't mind sharing water. They're very sweet. They're very sweet goats, and a lot of the times people think that goats have a bad reputation of headbutting or eating a bunch of junk, and they'll just eat anything like tin cans, and that's really not the case. Goats are actually very delicate, especially in their digestive systems, and they're very sweet-mannered. A lot of the times these goats behave almost like you would expect a dog to. They're very loving, they're very nurturing, and they are herd animals, and once you do become a part of their herd, then it creates a lovely bond between you and your goats. Now, like I said before, goats do quite a bit of foraging. Most people think that they might be able to get a small herd for for their larger yard, and the goats would be able to keep the yard cut down, but that's really not the case. They will eat grass, but it's not their first choice. They do enjoy all of the nice brush and low growing shrubs and leaves. They're kind of like potato chips for goats, really. They absolutely love a good leaf. This back section of the pasture is a very wooded area. It's nice and shaded for the goats to come back in here. We do live in North Carolina, so our summers get pretty hot, and so it's nice to have this larger wooded area for them to come take shade in. Now, you don't have to have a bunch of trees or anything like that in your goat lot, but it is good to make sure that they have plenty of drinkable water. So this pond is not what we would consider drinkable water. We do provide a good water source for them that we keep clean and refreshed and washed and made sure that it's a pure source of water. I really do hope this video helped somebody out. I know it was very difficult for me starting out with my herd, not knowing kind of just the basic and generic things that you need for goats. They do need shelter, they need food and water and space, but until you know the details of that, it can seem a little bit overwhelming. And I just wanted to encourage somebody today and let you know that it is difficult, and goats are picky, but they're 100% worth it, and getting to know their individual personalities is something that's brought a lot of interesting stories, to say the least, into my life. We'll be trying to do a couple more goat videos on the channel to go more in depth into some of the care and maintenance of goats, and hopefully a separate video on what to do in emergencies for goats. You know, what kind of medications you should probably have on hand, and what kind of scenarios you should be prepared for. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. And if not, then I hope that you enjoyed seeing the goats play. They certainly have a lot of fun. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments if you had any questions or what part you really enjoyed and which goat's your favorite. We look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care and God bless.